in the southeastern corner of the Netherlands. Green fields and cute villages dominate the landscape, but this is the calm before the storm. Welcome to Valkenswaard, the home of the MXGP of the Netherlands. Last weekend, Thomas Kierolsen took advantage of defending champion Jorge Prado, sitting out with a shoulder injury to move to the top of the MX2 standings with an utterly dominant performance at the MXGP of Great Britain. He will be looking to carry on that momentum here, despite the return of Prado, our defending MX2 champion. In MXGP, Tony Cairoli made it 2 wins from 2 in 2019, although he didn't have it all his own way against an inspired Tim Geiser, who recovered from a huge crash in race 1 to finish 3rd and then go on to win race 2. There's no Jeffrey Hurlings at his home event, which he won on the way to the title in 2018, while everyone is praying for better weather than last year, which saw the track covered in snow. The weather forecast is for sunshine, some cloud, but most importantly, no rain. So with that, the MXGP of the Netherlands can begin.
On turn 8 at this Valkenswaard circuit, and a part of the racetrack that always causes 1 or 2 problems for the riders. As you can see on the way in, it's nice and smooth and flat and pretty high speed. Now we have 2 lines coming into this right-hander. The outside line there no longer has the berm all the way up the hill. For now, that will change, but it's a smoother run, a better transition up the hill over the double jump. Is it the fastest route? It might be in the beginning. If you go to the inside, we have a steep little jump. The riders then land and then hope that the right side is a lot smoother, less steep, and only 1 or 2 waves on the other side of the hill to take care of. However, both parts of the racetrack will eventually become very bumpy. This side in particular will be very rutty. They will rip the track, they will water the track, but either way, it's going to be a challenge for the riders here on Sunday and Saturday. And I guarantee it won't look anything like this by the time we're done. Hope you've enjoyed our GoPro track preview this week at Valkenswaard Round 3. Sit back and enjoy all the action.
I'm really excited for my home GP now. I can't wait to ride in front of my friends and family and like all the Dutch fans. And no, it's going to be a really exciting weekend. It doesn't really put any more pressure on it to have my own race. I feel more excitement. I'm pretty ecstatic to go riding here, and it just feels good. I have a good feeling about this weekend. After 2 rounds now this season, I've had quite a lot of positive points. I've had some points I need to work on. My speed in the races and my fitness is on point. I just need to work on the Saturday and work on my starts. And I think this week I've done a lot of starts, so I think I've got that dialed in now. Transition has been actually quite good. I've felt quite comfortable quite quickly on the KTM. For 4 years I've been on Japanese bikes, so that's been quite a switch to go from Japanese to European bike, but I think the KTM, it suits me well, and I'm a rider that likes to stand up a lot, and the bike feels really stable. The engine feels good, so yeah, I'm happy. In the winter with Conrad, we've been practicing a lot together. We've been riding together since we rode 85s. I know him for quite some time now. We get along quite well.
The relationship between the two riders is very important. Sometimes it's good to have two riders that are fairly similar capabilities. The first rule is you don't get beaten by your teammate, so that spurs them on.
Yeah, Bass, yeah, we get on really well. It's nice to have him as a teammate. He's a good guy, he's very relaxed, he's not too like uptight about competition and things like that. It's nice to have not started on a complete fresh start. You know, we've got stuff that we used last year that we knew that, okay, we'll start the season with this, we have a good base setting. So it was nice to carry on from last year. Obviously the team's fantastic, it's a very family team.
The plan for this year is to do all the GPs, including all the flyaways. Without the valuable sponsorship of Hitachi, Milwaukee, obviously KTM and all the other sponsors, that wouldn't be possible.
At Matterley Basin, the riding was good, everything was great. I found some fantastic lines that obviously worked for me, and I was coming through the pack nicely. And then, yeah, we had a few issues with the bike on the last lap of the first race, and then in the second race as well. So it was quite difficult, but I mean, the team, my mechanic, we're all doing the best job we can with the equipment that we're given. It was a good weekend for me here last year. I think it was actually one of the best all season. So hopefully we can get the same sort of form again. And yeah, who knows? I mean, it would be a dream for me to land on the podium.
MX2 race 1, Jorge Prado up on the pegs, comes across his rivals at the first time of asking, hits the Fox Holeshot line for the second time this year. Thomas Olsen, Henry Jacobi, Tom Vial in close pursuit. Jacobi into third pretty quickly, but Vial on the 28 responded as well. First lap incident, Michael Sandner took out Conrad Muse. Valandren also ran into the bike, but stayed up. Michele Chervelin also sampled the ground. He went from 15th. The two Monster Energy Premier Yamahas were line astern until Jago Geerts had this moment and fell. He picked himself up. He was 8th, and he would continue to 7th. His teammate, though, Ben Watson, was running up towards the top 5. He was making passes all over the place. He eventually caught the number 28, Tom Vial, and moved into 4th place, but it was short-lived. The Brit would only last for a lap. Evans, though, Mitch Evans, would suffer 1 or 2 issues after a tough qualifying. Watson fell. He would rejoin the race, but again, he would have a hard job getting back to the top 5 as Valandren found his stride on his HRC Honda. He found his way by Vial to get himself into 4th place. Jago Geerts continued to climb. That move put
the Belgian into an eventual 7th place. Henry Jacobi for F&H Racing Kawasaki circulated in 3rd. What was a comfortable ride for the German behind the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna, the championship leader Thomas Olsen. But back from injury, Jorge Prado was victorious by 7.5 seconds in race 1. MX2 race 2, another flying start for Jorge Prado, hitting the foxhole shot line for the 3rd time this season. Once again, Olsen was in there, his teammate just behind, Jed Beaton, number 14. Olsen quickly worked his way into 2nd, the 29 of Jacobi was in 3rd, Vial was into 4th. Alberto Ferrato, the EMX 250 championship leader, was making early progress. He was quickly into 4th, but then would lose positions just as quick. Olsen moved into 2nd with that move on Jacobi as he went after the race leader. Vial was there in 4th place. Valandren not too far away either, as he went by the 303 of Ferrato on the Maddie Racing Husqvarna, who wildcarded this weekend. Vial was solid in 4th, but again, it wouldn't last. He was under pressure from Jargo Kietz. Meanwhile, the SM Action MC Migliori Yamaha rider Maxime Renault was making mistakes. It wouldn't be the first time we'd see him get out of shape. Tom Vial fell from 4th position after being pressurized by the 193 of Jargo Kietz. He advanced another position as he started to carve his way towards the front. Vial started to fade. The second mistake came from Renault. A series of disappointments then as well. Freek van der Vlis, number 88, Joaquin Pabetta. 426 of Conrad Muse. A disappointing day in the Netherlands for the Hitachi KTM UK rider. This punishing track, taking no prisoners. David Puches, another flying start, but he came under pressure and had to succumb to the 303 of Ferrato. That move was for 7th. Puches would last 4 more laps. He would not score any points in race 2. Jargo Kietz, though, was really getting the Belgian fans on side. He started to find his way into his rhythm and move on the 29 of Jacobi. Got him up into 3rd place. He then went after the 19 of Thomas Olsen. Valandren almost over the handlebars of his HRC machine, as he too eventually advanced past the 29 of Jacobi to move into 4th place. The Team HRC. Valandren then comfortable in 4th. Up front, Jorge Prado doing his thing. He went 1-1, but it was a photo finish between Jargo Kietz. He launched the final jump, made the move on Thomas Olsen to take 2nd in the last 100 meters of the race. Olsen was 3rd. The gap was 0.157 of a second. The overall this weekend then, Jorge Prado, Thomas Olsen, Jargo Kietz on the podium for the first time this season for Monster Energy Khmer Yamaha. Rockstar Energy Husqvarna of Thomas Olsen, the championship leader, had to settle for 2nd behind the Red Bull KTM of Jorge Prado. The Dane still has a championship lead though as we head to Italy.
We are so happy to see him for the first time this year. It's our 2018 MXGP World Champion, Jeffrey Hurlings. When do you think that you'll be lining up on that gate again?
As quick as possible, but if we line up a Mantova, I'll be just lining up to be racing and get a feeling, you know, back again. Definitely not the win, not the podium, not even top 10. It's just so we're gonna wait and see how the rehab of the foot is going, and from there on we're gonna make some plans. But as mentioned, I hope to be back on the bike in a month from now, and then we'll see if Mantova is capable. If not, we'll have to sit it out a few more races, but we'll wait and see. We're lucky with the calendar at least now.
Well, Jeffrey, we're wishing you a speedy recovery, and hurry up and come back soon because we miss you.
Thank you. Can't wait to see you guys.
We are here in the new workshop. We built it last year, and my goal was to build a professional environment where everybody can work, can train, can relax. I've been running a motocross team, I think, since 5 years now, but overall I've been involved in teams the last 15 years.
We spend a lot of time in the new workshop here. Like you said, it's a huge step for the team, and Louis put a lot of effort to make it in a way that for the mechanics or the rider we can help each other. Like you see here, we're in the gym, we can see the mechanics downstairs, so there is a great atmosphere.
I feel great with this bike. Actually, it was the right move. You know, it has been a tough winter because it's such a short winter to be ready. It has been a major change. I didn't bought any mechanics, but the main thing why I wanted to come to Vilvo because was of this atmosphere in the team. Even myself on the training side, I started from with a brand new team, so it has been a lot of major change. Sometimes you have small structure and a lot of people. And a lot of people means a lot of information. The ball is rolling, but it takes time. And here we are having the opposite, and this is what I needed.
It was definitely a tough year. Last year I was off for the whole season, so it was very hard to deal with it mentally, and also physically I suffered quite a lot with my shoulders. I haven't shown my full potential, so I will keep on improving this year, and hopefully I can get to the best I can do. I feel like I have a lot more in the tanks.
I really like, the torque, engine with torque, and definitely this is the reputation of the Yamaha, so that's the main thing. Then aluminum chassis, Japanese chassis, especially the way they make the engine, it's unique, so I like the handling of this bike. Yeah, the atmosphere with Arnaud, it's more than a teammate for me. We know each other since we raced '85. We are friends. We are out of being teammates. We are friends. So Arnaud is a great guy with a lot of potential and really good speed. So it's good that we push each other.
Yeah, we have a great relationship with Gauthier. I know him since I was a kid. So it was a pretty funny story when he landed on the same team. In the beginning, I didn't really believe it.
The goal when you're an athlete, when you're a professional sportsman, it's to be up front. It's the big dream to get that gold plate in the end of the season. That's definitely will never change for myself.
MXGP Race 1, Tony Cairoli, the fastest to react. Moved across his rivals, gave himself plenty of space to hit the Fox hole shot line for the third time this season. Just behind him, Max Anstey on the standing construct KTM and Tim Geiser for Team HRC. But Cairoli's lead was short-lived. A mistake at the bottom of the first hill. He realised he'd left the door open. Anstey was through, didn't need a second invite. And the number 99 led for the first time this year. In close pursuit was the 243 of Tim Geiser. In third as he chased after Cairoli. Meanwhile, Siwa, Lieber and DeSalle all in the mix. 6th, 7th and 8th. Eventually DeSalle went around the outside of his teammate. The 25 then moving into 7th place. Anstey was being caught by Cairoli, but Tim Geiser crashed out spectacularly from 3rd place. He lost his foot peg as he caught the edge of the bank. He went down to 12th and had a hard ride fighting his way back through the field. The fast-starting Ivo Monticelli for standing construct KTM was putting up a good fight as well, but he eventually lost ground to DeSalle, who moved briefly into 4th. That was the moment that Anstey fell. Cairoli almost tagged him on the way by as well, but Cairoli was the new race leader. Paulin for Monster Energy Wilvo Yamaha was now in 2nd, but DeSalle put up a brave fight. The Monster Energy Kawasaki hustled the Yamaha rider. He went around the outside and eventually he made the pass stick around the halfway mark. Despite some aggressive riding, number 21, Paulin, had to settle for 3rd. Monticelli came under attack in the latter stages of the race. His fourth place was short-lived. Jasikonis went through on the 27 Rockstar Energy Husqvarna. And then a whole host of riders, Julian Lieber, 33 on the Kawasaki, and Jeremy Seewer went through. The Italian was pushed to 7th, and as Jeremy Van Hoorbeek came through, they tagged wheels. Monticelli was down. He eventually came home in 18th place. Another solid ride for Van Hoorbeek. An eventual pass on Julian Lieber got the Belgian into 5th position on his Honda SR Motor Blues machine. Sean Simpson came home in an eventual 9th, but it was Tony Cairoli who was imperious once again. He was victorious in race 1 over DeSalle and Paulin, with Jasikonis and Van Hoorbeek rounding out the top 5. MXGP race 2, once again, Cairoli the fastest out of the blocks. Across the Foxhole shot line for the 4th time this season. Behind him, Tim Geiser was right in there as Gauthier Paulin was buried mid-pack behind DeSalle and Jasikonis, number 27. Paulin showing the importance of why you need a good start here, buried right in the thick of the action as Cairoli led. Monticelli was 2nd. Geiser eased into 3rd, but then it was Monticelli who blinked. He fell, and he also was joined by Tonus. Cairoli up front, tried to make a break on the Slovenian. The HRC rider was never too far behind in what was a battle between the Hondas, the privateer Honda of the 89 and the factory Honda of the 10, as DeSalle once again advancing forward after a poor start on his Monster Energy Kawasaki. Sean Simpson made a fantastic start on the number 24 RFX KTM, powered by PAR Homes, but he got passed there by DeSalle as the Belgian moved into 4th, while the 2 Rockstar Energy Husqvarnas were line astern, just inside the top 10. Paulin fell out spectacularly from 7th place, whilst trying to find his way past the Geben van Venrooy Kawasaki of Alessandro Lupino. He would rejoin the race, but would only come home in 13th position. Antonio Cairoli going in search of his 7th overall victory here at Valkenswaard was in no mood for hanging around, and nor too was the 27 of Jasikonis. He made light work of the 77 of Lupino as he climbed into 6th. Seewer was under attack on the Monster Energy Yamaha. 2 Kawasaki's behind him, Lupino and Lieber. Lieber finding a way past the Italian. That put him up into 8th place. But Jasikonis was the danger man. 2 poor starts, but 2 heroic rides through the fields. That move on Simpson put him into 5th. He then had his eyes and his sights set on Clement DeSalle. Could he find his way into 4th before the checkered flag? The answer was a significant yes. He capitalized on a mistake from the 25. DeSalle thought about responding, but Jasikonis had the line covered as DeSalle went in search of his first podium of the season. Van Hoorbeek came home in 3rd in the race. There was no match for Tim Geiser or Antonio Cairoli, the Sicilian picking up his 5th race win from 6 starts this season. Tim Geiser came home 2nd, edging out Jeremy Van Hoorbeek and Jasikonis. The overall belonged to Tony Cairoli on the Red Bull KTM, Clement DeSalle 2nd, Tim Geiser 3rd. But of course, Tony Cairoli extends his lead from 8 to 22 with his victory over Geiser. DeSalle on the podium for the first time this season.
So a fast and furious MXGP of the Netherlands is over for another year. Local hero Jeffrey Herlings was here in body, but not on bike. However, this Valkenswaard circuit did cough up a weekend full of high-speed crashes and smashes, while the boys from Red Bull ruled the roost. Jorge Prado returned from injury to boss both races in the MX2, while teammate Tony Cairoli kept his cool to continue his domination of MXGP. No snow this year in the Netherlands, but fear not. If the weathermen are right, we could be getting our fill of that very soon at the MXGP Trentino.